Hey guys, we're here with Tripper at BeerYeti.com. Thank you for joining us. We are in Texas still. We're kind of rolling through the United States and looking for some really outstanding breweries around Texas. Right outside of San Antonio. Tripper, tell us about the brewery, why you named it this, and the history behind the name.
So, hey, Tripper here. You guys are at Tusculum Brewing Company. We're at 236 South Main, Boerne, Texas. If you want to come and visit. The name Tusculum originates from the original name of Boerne. Before it was Boerne, it was Tusculum.
Just a 20-minute drive outside of San Antonio.
Yeah,
easy, right?
drive.
No issue whatsoever. Tusculum. So Tusculum itself, the building you're in, that was an amazing building. I mean, you walk in, you've got this big open area, you've got a nice bar in the background. What's the history behind that building? That's really right off of Main Street. Really cool.
Yeah. So the building up front is called the H.O. Adler building. It's one of the oldest buildings in town. It had its 111th birthday recently. We didn't celebrate it.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. It's used to be an old lumber company as well as a general store, and was stored munitions for the National Guard at one point.
Oh, interesting.
So it's had a whole bunch of different lives. So we thought we'd breathe a little bit of liquid sustenance into it, and so now we're serving a little bit of beer, food, and music in there.
Awesome. That's really cool. The overall building itself is not just what's unique about the brewery. It's about you. It's about your background. You're a chemist, if
Yes.
I remember correctly, right,
Yes.
Tripper? So you got into brewing from a chemistry degree. What made you decide to get into the brewing business? I'm a chemist.
So I homebrewed for a very, very long time. I had friends in college who worked at breweries, and I was part of the American Brewing Chemists Society, not as a full member, but just as a person who was interested in chemistry and had a chemistry background, and was helping some of my friends through some problems they had at their breweries. I slowly got into the brewing business and found out I wanted to open my own brewery, and that's now how we landed here in this beautiful space that is my domain. So.
Understandable. So you fell in love with the product.
I did,
and
yeah.
you fell in love with the actual process itself. So I mean, and you opened right before COVID.
We did,
right?
yes.
So how long have you been open now?
Like right at 4 years. So
Okay,
right at 4 years.
and not to relive all of that, but how did you guys make it through COVID?
So we opened with the intent of being a brewery that was set up to do package. So with the ability to have a canning line come in or add that component in.
Mm-hmm.
So we immediately, when COVID happened, knew we had to be in to go. We brought in mobile canners, canned all our beers. So for us, it was probably, it was still hard, not to say it wasn't hard.
Sure.
And I have friends who did not make it, their breweries didn't make it through
sadly,
COVID.
there was quite a few of them that
But we canned our beer, sold our beer. Luckily in Boerne, it is open container friendly. You can walk on the street at a certain point.
kind of like Vegas.
Yes. We just moved the bar to the front doors, opened the doors, and sold our beer in to-go cups on the street. And we did that for 8 months. And then on a random Wednesday, Tusculum Brewing Company opened. I think it was in April at some point. Just opened. I think we had 2 customers that day. It was a win. It was a win. The doors were open, and we were back rolling again.
It's kind of like A Wonderful Life when they had the $2 at the end at the end of the show. They just said, "Hey, look, this is a win. We're good.
We're good.
This is fantastic." So obviously, I'm drinking a barrel-aged beer, and
I'm drinking the hazy IPA.
And the hazy, for those that was an amazing hazy. We spoke about that a little bit. There's a lot of chemistry in this process, obviously, and this gentleman here is a very overall passionate about what he's doing and how he's doing it itself. The barrel age. So talk to us a little bit about the barrel age, and talk to us a little bit about the hazy there.
So this is we have a beer called Rock Porter. It's a beer that we typically, to porter, we add coconut to. We did not add coconut to this. We took that beer and then we put it in Milam and Green single barrel bourbon. I think that the proof on it was from the barrels was in the 106, 106, 107-ish on the barrels. We put it in there. We let it sit for 8 months. We actually age in an unconditioned environment, not typical to most places, because in Texas we have the heat, the swings.
Yep.
So we like the wood to interact with our beer. Being there was a lumberyard, we like to sort of sweat our barrels a little bit, which allows us to produce a product like that in about 8 months, rather than people who age stuff out for 14, 16, 2 years, which is a little bit different. That comes from the wine industry. They do that a lot. I have some cellarmen who worked in the wine industry, and they said we need to age outside, and I said, well, we'll give it a try. Let's try it, and it's tend to work for us. So
for those that you don't know, we're in the Texas Hill Country, and you really have a true 4 seasons here, right?
Yes, we do have a true 4 seasons.
Yeah. So you get the heat, obviously, as you said, and you get the cold from the winter as well. So for those of you that are traveling through Texas, the Hill Country area, you definitely see the fall colors and whatnot. So anyway, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking our hazy IPA. It's you get big notes of citrus, little grapefruit rind, a little bit of guava in there. This is a beer that we have been perfecting for now 4 years. I like to call it my passion project because I really like hazy IPA. And if I can make a hazy IPA I can drink, that's a good thing because I'm pretty particular about them. So this is what I present. We have another one we're going to release that's coming out that we used some thiolized yeast and some processes from the wine industry to get a little bit more of that over-the-top hazy IPA that is sort of where the trend is going. But this is sort of my beer that's on the wall.
So that's one of your favorites.
That is my favorite.
Okay.
It is why it's on the wall, because that's what we.
Because it's Tripper's favorite.
It's basically it should say the brewer's beer, but that's
going back to the new release. When is that going to come out approximately?
We're probably about 2 weeks. We're about 2 weeks away from releasing it.
So we're in the end of February roughly. So say middle of March, right around spring break.
Right around spring break. Yeah, past probably just past St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
Not quite going to make it for that. It looks like right now, but that's where we're sitting at with it right now.
And it'll probably last through the end of March into April.
Probably about a month.
Okay.
Probably about a month. So
and we noticed you have some pretty darn good looking food coming out of the kitchen.
We do, yeah.
Right.
So that is my new passion project. I also help as chef in the kitchen. We do have a full kitchen. Do everything from homemade pretzels.
Wow.
We do
go really well with that Kolsch and the lager.
It is very good. We're basically try to do upscale deli.
Mm-hmm.
I've now taken it over and made it a little bit more eclectic. We are going to add on a fried bologna sandwich. We're going to add
interesting.
Turkey club toaster, a couple different things that we're adding into the menu. So we're excited to release those things as we move forward with it. I think everyone's has that lives in America has an attachment to just a good sandwich.
Absolutely,
and
a good pretzel too.
So that's what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. And this is your wife's project as well as yours, right?
Yes.
So you told us a little bit about your wife and you and whatnot. So she came from a medical type background, and now she's the boss of the world, so to speak.
Yeah, my wife's I guess technical position is she's the operating partner of the business.
Mm-hmm.
So she runs all the numbers, all the books. I mean, right now she's helping in the kitchen, but she does a little bit of everything, whatever it takes to get everything done. So it's a family-run business. Me, my wife, my father, and then my uncle, and then Cade, who is my other chef in the kitchen, is my cousin.
Okay, so it's a family.
A family-run business. Yeah. And then my other cousin also works here too. So a little bit of the family, all works together. But that's the way. The way it sort of works.
Right. So as you guys know, as we travel around, we really focus on the independent brewers. I noticed Texas Craft Brewers Guild emblem up here, so obviously we're members of that as well, and we really try to feature these guys because they put their heart, their soul, their blood, their capital, their overall thought process. And if you were to hear this gentleman talked to us an hour ago about his passion and his chemistry background and everything he puts into that hazy right there that he just described to us. And I'm like looking at him going, wow, okay, I don't know half the stuff you're talking about. However, it's obvious he does. So he makes the beer. He makes it really interesting to the customer itself. I would highly recommend you guys come here. If you're anywhere in the San Antonio, Bexar County area, coming out to either Fredericksburg or to Kerrville or to San Antonio, going out west on I-10, stop by this brewery in Boerne, Texas. It's an amazing brewery. Great history for the building itself. Very nice guy. Tripper, we really appreciate you joining us today.
Well, thank you guys for coming out.
And thank you for showing us your barrel house and your brew house, and definitely worth the stop for sure. Anything else you want to tell anybody as far as...
if you're around, we like to say in Boerne, we're not competitors. We're all compadres. There's 5 of us in town. It is open container. Feel free to sip and stroll and sip and shop. And Boerne's for beer. Cheers.
Pro tip there. Absolutely. Cheers. Thank you, Tripper, for joining us.
Thank you.
Cheers.